Then I build a journey. Okay. Then based on my assumptions of whatever I have. So before going to this PPT, rather I think I should dive there and see what I have done. Okay. So first what we'll do is we'll focus on the webinar side, and then we'll slowly go to the questions. Once we get the time, we'll go back to the questions and again see if you have answered everything and all. Is that okay with everyone now?
Yes, Shashi.
Yes, Shashi.
Till now, hope whatever I said, you people understood.
Yeah, can I ask one
Yes.
question here?
Hmm. Yeah.
Can you go to the PPT one
Hmm.
in the slide 6 where you have shown the process, right? Like, yeah, here.
This one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have any color coding there because you use different colors for the different sets of layers?
Coding, I didn't understood.
Like, why are you representing only one color for the first layer, like attribute or?
I'm very bad with PPT. I
No,
bring
that's
some
okay.
template. Yeah.
Okay.
So the color, I give a damn what
Yeah,
it
that's
means,
okay.
or it is. I'm a
Yeah.
technical person. I simply said just what comes into my mind. I think I don't consider why I'm using pink, why I'm using orange, what is the significance. I don't know.
Yeah, right then. Yeah, that's okay.
This is how I think. I don't go with documentation and all, right? I'm very bad in PPT. So anyway, so first what I said was, okay, I have a master D. In the master D, here when I'm saying master D, just let me refresh. And by the way, I created all these things, whatever I built. Okay, I built within 2-3 hours. So then don't take it as a best practice or something. We can always make it more optimized. Okay, based on our uh, understanding of how to implement. So this is I don't know how many people will be able to build everything in 3 hours. I am capable, if you know. In the master D, I have the subscriber key. You can add other things. For simplicity, I just simply added 4 attributes: subscriber key, email address, first name and last name. Now whether you bring this master D from synchronous data extension, from import activity, or from any other way of implementation, it's up to you. So this is my base. For simplicity, I added simply okay, subscribers, 3 subscribers. And for preference, you can add, I simply added for me. Okay, I said, okay, the preference channel for me is the email. I've opted in for email opt-in. I've opted out from SMS. Okay, this is the date when it was updated, and this is my subscriber key. You can also bring, if this is some other objects from Sales Cloud, you are synchronizing that data extension and bringing those records into Marketing Cloud. But make it, this is one-to-one mapping with the subscriber key. It is not historical, it is just the latest data that is coming in. Then I have webinar metadata. In the webinar metadata, I added whatever fields that I find it interesting. So I said webinar name, webinar date when it will be conducted, when it was created, when it was updated, who are the speakers. Speaker one, I just said there are two speakers, okay, not mandatory. So speaker one, speaker two, the topic if you want to write, if you want to give a description, and the primary key will be the webinar ID. I have the invitation, okay. So I'll clear this out so people to help you understand what I did here. I was just trying to test what I did. Okay. So I have to bring invitation to whom I'm going to send. Okay. So whoever I have to bring. So here what I did. See here I use composite key. Okay. Subscriber and the webinar ID. Why? Just to clarify you why this webinar. This was my metadata. Hmm. So I said okay on Journey Builder. Deepak and Ankita is going to speak as a speaker. This will be a webinar topic. A webinar use case will be the description. Okay, and the other webinar this will be conducted on which date? It will be on 11th of February, and there will be another webinar that will be conducted for subscription on 18th of February. Okay, conducted by Sai Dinesh and Sunit. So I gave a speaker. So there are upcoming two webinar, and I have only one. Basically, I just for simplicity I added only one subscription out of this master D where I have 3 records. So for that, to bring data into webinar invitation, okay, how I'm going to bring, I'm going to write a query in the automation. And what query that I have written here, so this is what I've written. Okay, So select subscriber email address, first name, last name from the master D. I did a cross join on the webinar metadata to bring the webinar ID. Hmm. And then I do the inner join. Why I did the inner join with subscriber preference? To validate whether the person who has subscribed either in email or SMS. They have to be either. That's why I said or. Hmm. And the on condition is on the subscriber key. So I can add the date diff part to find only those future webinar. So from webinar metadata, I can also add another and clause and then check the future webinar campaigns that for which I have to send in invitation. Here I said uh, I have where it went. I have two webinar to be conducted, one on 11th and one on 18th. Okay, and there is one person. There is only one person who has basically given the subscriber preference. So that is my record. And if I run this automation, if I run this query, okay, I just yesterday just ran it once to validate what I've written. So let's run this. Then you'll see there will be in webinar invitation. You will have two records there, okay, because there are two upcoming webinars. So Sasi will be in the data extension twice. So Sasi should get an invitation twice, right? For one with what was the webinar, one for webinar related to webinar use case, and another with custom subscription. So Sasi will receive two invitation. Let's run this automation. Currently, we don't have any records. Let that automation completes. It should not take much time. Done. Then this, you see. So I have Sasi with webinar ID, this one, and Sasi with webinar. So in the webinar invitation, I have two records. Till now, hope everything is clear for everyone.
Yes, Sachi.
Then I go to this attribute group. So let's go back to the data extension. So I said I have 5 data extensions and I build this relationship. So first is the master D. So in this master D, I have made contact key and subscriber key one to one. You see here, one to one, right? And then master D to subscriber preference. You see here, this is one to one. And here I said subscriber key to subscriber key relationship that has to be there. Now, if I have to see webinar invitation, or Sasi can be multiple times into this webinar invitation, as I showed you an example for webinar 1 and webinar 2. So this becomes one to many relationship. Okay, with master D and webinar invitation, it is one to many relationship. With webinar invitation, I said there is a, those to whom whoever I send a webinar invitation, for them only I'm going to send the webinar confirmation. That's why webinar invitation and confirmation I have one-to-one relationship because it will be one-to-one. And here, what is the I'm using composite key, webinar ID and subscriber key. So that's why it's one-to-one. If I just use subscriber key, then it should be one to many. The final one here is the relationship with webinar metadata. So here, what is the relationship? I have only used because here I can't have the subscriber key. So I have webinar to webinar relationship. So that's why mm, uh, the same webinar in webinar metadata can fall here into multiple times. So this is many to one. So hope this attribute group is clear to everyone. So
Yes, yes.
Ankita, like you said, you have multiple data extensions and how to basically build the data model. This is how we need to build. Okay, so to build this data model, obviously you have to always consider all these questions like what you are going to do. This one, designing the data model is very important for you. Hmm.
Yes.
First thing you have to think of what data we are bringing, how we are bringing. So yesterday I sat down and said, okay, first is my for me is always master D. I'm going to build master D where all my subscriber base will be there. It will be 1 million, 10 million, whatever. It will be in one data extension. I will not add it into different data extension. It will always be in one. And from there, I'm going to filter out. Like filtering out, how I did, I build a automation. Then I can have a join, cross join. I can do inner join and any join, and then I can bring and populate the entry source. Now, the main point, because we are discussing journey builder. This is journey builder enablement. So this is my webinar invitation data extension, which I'm saying, right? So, and I'm not lying. See, it is 9 p.m. 9 p.m. that I started building all these things. Okay, so I designed this data extension and everything yesterday only before going to sleep. So for this, I just kept a caveat with 5 minutes. I'll tell you later why. Hmm. And because I have an automation, that's why I was able to, build this automation, schedule this via automation. Obviously, I said here only bring new records. When I say only bring new records here, and only after journey activation. Currently, Sasi, I have already run this automation, right? So Sasi is already there. So you have to do an override and do it once again. Otherwise, Sasi is not going to because you have run the automation before activating the journey. So Sasi is not going to be coming in. So that is the caveat. Now, our main contention: how to add a decision split to define uh, which preference. So preference is getting stored here. If I showed you, this is subscriber preference. So here I said for Sasi, the subscriber key, the preference channel is email, and he has opted in for email, not for SMS, is false. And when the person is updated, the last updated opt-in date that is there is added here. So if I go to Journey Builder Decision Split, here what I did, let's see here. So channel. So where the channel resides, tell me Ankita, where the channel resides, in which data extension?
Channel is in preference.
Yeah. So this preference in this attribute group, right? Yeah, it comes in the second, not from the master D. It comes from another one, another data
Yes.
extension. So that's why where I have used channel. Okay. And this one is coming from, see, webinar. Huh. So if you see this path, journey data, I'm secondly, this one is contact data channel. If I'm hovering on top of the channel. So path is contact data, webinar, master D, and subscriber preference. Can you see that in the orange? It is giving you the breadcrumb.
Yes.
So one, I'm using contact data, and then I said, obviously the person has to have an email address. So you can remove or you can add. But for me, I always add this email address. So journey data, here I'm using journey data, entry source because it's journey data, and that is the webinar. So here I use this preference and I said, gave the name email and SMS. And I said, okay, if the preference is email, flowed through this path, else flowed through this path. Since I've given, see, just remember one more thing. I said, and if any of the criteria does not meet, it will definitely go to SMS. So better you have to configure SMS also. Okay, rather than having one path, I can have three paths. I'll say obviously this will be a reminder. Okay, and for me this will be SMS. And for SMS, similarly, like I say, channel. So I go to my webinar. Okay, from Master D, I'm going to subscriber preference. I say channel. Channel has to be SMS, and then say if I have a channel, I didn't add a phone number, but definitely there has to be a phone number, which I missed from the Master D or from the invitation, webinar invitation. At least they should have a phone number also. Okay, you people should add phone number also, and say phone number is not blank, right? Then,
Shashi, sorry.
hmm,
Actually, here we are having two conditions. Second is like email should not be null. But in our
hmm.
journey, we will take this email address after this decision split. So for us, for
Mm,
this
no,
consideration,
coming to you.
yeah.
Okay, understood. Okay, you clarify your point. Huh? Say it once again.
Yes, Shashi. So we are having the decision split like email address should not be null. So
Hmm.
because our email detail is stored in another data extension.
That is a very dangerous proposition. What you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll come to that now first before going there. I did this. Okay, so this will be SMS. This has to be configured. Let me just change few things. So because this is uh, SMS, so bring that SMS. I'm coming to you. Okay, let me first this because if when I publish this, then people will say he said SMS and SMS is in the reminder. Huh. Okay, so when you're building a journey. Hmm, in the first session of the journey builder only, I said to whom you are going to send an email, you have to define the default email address, either from entry source, either from contact. When you say your email address is empty and you're defining here as an entry source, how that will be validated? That becomes very dangerous. That you're saying that I'm not going to add email address into my entry source. Is a very dangerous proposition. Now you have another option. Obviously, you can use email address from contact if the person has been added to all contact, so that I have built another automation for you to help with the scenario also. Okay, but
Okay.
I don't agree to first point that you're saying that the person email address should be blank in the entry source. Why it should be blank? You have a configuration where you think either you'll send that email to the person using entry source or from contact. Now your proposition is the person email address might change later. If I have to twist that question, if the proposal is totally wrong. For, to be very frank. Okay.
Yes, Shashi.
Now now let's say uh, if you're taking a consideration saying that I started with ankita@gmail.com. I started, right? Now, before sending an email, let's say if I'll just go back to your journey. So I said 5 minutes. Anyway, so within 5 minutes, you are going to change the email address because I'm going to send an email immediately once it enters the journey, isn't it?
Understood.
And I have an option, only an option to send that email either through an entry source email address or through contact. I agree to having email address to contact, which is always good. Okay, which is always good for me. Configure. Now, mm, what I can do, let's say, this is an exception condition to help you. Okay, then I say I'll wait for 5 days here, inject and wait for 5 days, which does not make actually sense to me. But I'm saying, okay, I'll wait for 5 days. And because I'm waiting for 5 days, for what? So that the person updates the email address. If the person has to update the email address, hmm, then to help you, what I did, see, whatever is coming in my mind, I tried. Okay, I created another automation as well, manage subscription, where I can in automation I can use import activity. Okay, import file. What I did here in this import file definition, here I first have to import, first I have to add it to the FTP, right? Import folder. I have to first add all the subscribers, like they have 1 year. I created my own saying subscriber month just to easy way out. And from here I can select either data extension or subscriber list. So I'm taking subscriber list. I want to update that particular file to all subscriber. And from here, okay, I didn't added other things, but by header row I said, okay, I don't want to go into details how this is done. Once we do automation studio, I'll go into detail. From here, then because I did header row and then add it to the all subscriber list, I can update the because I have an option to update the email address, even the status. Hmm. So via this, if you have another automations, then obviously you're waiting here for 5 days and this is running daily, then high chances is the person who has been updated with these contacts, all contacts, okay, with using the contact, then the latest updated email will be sent, like from Ankita Gmail to Hotmail. You change your email address, right? And I'm running this automation. Then obviously your email address will be updated. Subscriber queue will not be updated. Email address will always be can be updated. So this is one way to update the email address. Hope that clarifies your question, Ankita.
Yes, Shashi.
Now I did right. So based on the preference, if the person hasn't given any preference and somehow it got injected anyway, I already had a blanket query which it said, okay, which is said that I'm already checking only those people who have already opted in, either in SMS or email in this query, right? So this line I said either the person has to be opt in SMS or email. So only those people are flowing in. So then we have a decision split and this path. So here we don't have a long code to basically configure this. I tried configuring the SMS, but we don't have the what you say, the long code or the short code configured. Obviously, this is a training environment, so I can't configure the SMS. Huh. And then the second is we are creating the email. So what I did, even to help you all, okay, let me preview and test this. This is the email, okay, I created for Journey Builder enablement for our session. I said I'm going to send an invitation to a person. So I said hello. Okay, let me make it preview and test for you all. How many days do you people think that it will require you all to build all this journey and all the settings? Sumit, how many days will you take?
Maybe 10 years only. Not 10 years, but
Sorry,
at least 10 days. At least 10 days, I can at least.
were you joking on me that in 10 years?
Because the way you have done it's like awesome. Everything is so perfect there. For me, it's gonna take very much time, I'm pretty sure.
Um, yeah, that was in a lighter note. Don't take it seriously. Anyway, I did it in 3 hours because I was already implemented such scenarios multiple times. This is what I told you already, right? So hello, first name, last name, your lookup, sookup. I'm not going into the nitty gritty of optimizing it, just to show you. So I even added cloud page and all. I'll go there. Here it is how you can design a good email. Okay, this is on simple layman terms. I said, hello, Sasi Prasad. We are excited to inform you that we are hosting. I don't know what I read to you that we are hosting. My sentence. These are the subscriber details. I did all this, and if somebody clicks here it will land to this page. So I created even a form of HTML, that one, and then the person can register. So the email is also designed. I'll go to the cloud place slowly here, whatever is done. And obviously we'll try to discuss here. I'm discussing all subscriber for now. Okay, we'll go through that path as well. And email is similarly email and SMS can be configured. And just another assumption is if is not opted in this and not opted in this, obviously the person has to go out. Hmm. I then after that I wait for 7 days. I send an email. It is within that person's inbox now. Whether the person has opened or not, I have to give some time for that person to take some action. And after 7 days, I'm going to use the engagement split. Hmm. And here in the engagement slip is oh my pronunciation क्या हो रहा है मैं थक गया हूँ इतना जल्दी कितना हो गया 1 घंटा भी नहीं हुआ ना हाँ. So engagement split, webinar invitation, what the metrics, the person should open an email. If the person has opened the email, okay, then I'm going to wait. And there's another decision split which says whether I have a join URL or not. Means if the person has registered. Okay, so I have another decision split, Ankita here. And if you see the breadcrumb, it says contact data, webinar, master data, webinar invitation, and then webinar confirmation. Okay, why I'm saying
Yes.
this is because see, this is my webinar invitation. Hmm. Here, if I click here, and once see everything is pre-populated for me. This was for Sasi. Okay, webinar was subscription. Just to clarify, this was for this webinar. And if I just change it, this one, it will be another journey builder. Okay, so it depends on which preview you are testing. And uh, once the person clicks, okay, also they have an option to basically prefer which preference they want to take. Hmm. Now, this will be another discussion whether if they tick on both, what should we do? That is a different discussion. So if they click on register, okay, what I am going to do, I'm going to add that record uh, into this webinar confirmation on that button click. Then I'm going to add those records here. Subscriber, email address, whoever has added for which webinar ID, and I'll also populate join URL. So here, if I click here, okay, I didn't implement it. I don't have that much of time. If I click here, this will be added into this data extension. And in the journey builder, I'm saying, okay, the person has registered, right? It means I have the join URL. Hmm? Once I have the join URL, then what I'm going to do, here, okay, here again, I'm saying I have a decision split whether I have the join URL, right? So I used another data extension. Okay. If the person has clicked, has a join URL, well and good. Else, uh, if the person hasn't registered, you know, uh, here again I'll go there, but here I could say I could have sent the person a reminder, not registered, right? So maybe what I can do, if the person hasn't registered, if the person has opened, then I'm saying reminder. But what should I do? Okay. Oh yeah, that's why I kept. If the person has opened but didn't register, I have to, maybe he's not interested, so let him go. So that's why I'm allowing him to exit. Hmm. Here in the invitation, if the person has not opened the email, not here, then I said I'm going to send a reminder to the person saying, hello, hello, we have sent you one email. Do you want to still register? Maybe there's a reminder path in here. Hmm. Here I did join URL. After that, I have another decision split. Now I'm checking the channel. Okay. Because in the preference, like I gave in this cloud page, I said they have an option to select which preference also. Maybe I can toggle this too by design, by HTML design also. Either they can select either of them. So I have to little bit change it, this one, right? So once this preference is given, then again I'll say, okay, what the person has opted for confirmation. Then based on this decision, okay, and this decision is coming again from preference. So before that it was from webinar confirmation. Now this one is from subscriber preference. Hmm. So based on this preference, again I'm saying, okay, he said email, then I'm going to send him the webinar confirmation. I don't know if I build this email or not. If I build is well and good. Hmm. So here I said, okay, hello, okay, यहाँ पे BR देना है. Hello, first name, last name. I didn't use personalization all because I used it all the time for the first email. So yeah. So yeah, hello, first name, last name. Yeah, you have successfully registered for webinar. We will give the webinar details, and here is your joining URL, and give him the joining URL and conclude. Okay. So where am I? So here I send the email. Okay, with the webinar confirmation. And if he says SMS, I'm going to send SMS. Any doubt till now? Any questions till now? Or you people are lost what I said till now?
No, Shashi, we are following.
Now coming to another question was exit criteria. So here I said exit criteria. How I'm going to define the exit criteria is email opt-in. So here what I'm using, again, contact data using subscriber preference. If the person has email opt-in as false, then the person has to exit the journey. So this is the exit criteria. If you want some, you have two different exit criteria. So this one is for mobile. I didn't configure for mobile. So this is based on the journey how you need to configure. I'm still waiting for some anyone, like if they have any questions. And here what I did, uh, the person didn't open the email. I send the person a reminder to register. I'll wait for some day, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, anyway, any day. And then I join it back here to see whether the person has registered or not. So I'm not creating another flow. I'm joining it back to my original flow. So I used a join and added it here. So again, the same decision here, checking whether this registered or not, whether its join URL is there and what preference he has given, and the same flow will be there. Okay, I'll wait for a couple of minutes for you people to clarify if you have any doubt till now.
Yes, Shashi, I have one thing. The email and SMS that I was storing from other data extension, the main concern was that only, I wanted to know if I want to update my main DE, the master DE, with some other detail that is stored in a related different data extension. So how can I take that particular input in my running journey and store that value in my master DE? So if you can help out there.
See, that's what I did now. I have a master D here. Okay. So in the master D, I can have more fields into it, right? Then for automation, I can have
Sorry,
this join
Sashi.
in all conditions and bring it to the
Hello.
Ankita. I think, yeah, tell me.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can others hear me?
Yes, Shashi.
Yes,
Yes.
Sasi. We can.
Okay.